Hi everyone, my name is Fola Afolayan, and I am a tarot reader, Reiki practitioner, and artist integrating art and healing. And today I am going to share my story with you all of how I ended up working in the healing arts. I get this question a lot, so I wanted to just share how I got from doing the arts and theater to transitioning to the healing arts. So I kind of have been interested in astrology and numerology and things of that nature, and like esoteric studies of humans since like high school and college. Like if I were in a group of people, I would always want to know what their sun sign was or life path number was, as a way to understand them, not to label them, but to understand them and how to better communicate with them and just like study them. So I gotta feel like that was like a key, or like almost like a stepping stone path to the work that I do now. But I've always been fascinated with that way of studying humans and using that as a map. So I, traditionally I studied and went to college. I went to school and I studied theater, undergrad and graduate school. And before that, in high school, I went to a conservatory program where I left senior year of my high school and I went into training to be a theater artist, because I wanted to be a theater artist and do some serious work. And a lot of that work led to burnout, depression, and anxiety, because I took the joy out of it. Like the joy was being sucked out. It was more about like being a good actor and being a good artist and discipline, that a lot of the fun started to get sucked out of that. And, I graduated undergrad and was like really lost and like went into a deep depression. And then, I went to grad school. It was kind of like, okay, go to school. I was told, go back to school. And that kind of was like a distraction in a way. So I went back to school and went to graduate school. And then after graduate school, it was kind of like, what now? Again. And then I moved back home with my parents, and my sister told me about this tarot reader who was giving free readings. And I was in a transition and I was about to move to Philadelphia at the time, and I really needed that support. So I was like, oh, a tarot reading, my first tarot reading, that'd be fun. And that reading was so transformative and powerful. It was affirming. I felt seen, I felt heard and acknowledged. And a lot of the things that she said did come to pass, or are coming to pass. Like she said that I was a healer, and I was like, what is she talking about? And here I am. And lots of warnings and things that I didn't take heed to, but we're here. Self-compassion. But yeah, it was just like so affirming. I was like, this is really cool. I want to get into this more. And then I fast forward, I moved to Philadelphia, and I'm, on the hustle, bump and move, and, trying to get a break and get booked and get hardcore grind culture, right? And I continued to learn more about tarot through like watching videos as kind of like an outlet. And I started watching Gemstone Tarot on YouTube. Shout out to Gemstone Tarot. I'll leave her in the comments. It was like one of the first tarot readers that I watched on YouTube, and I would watch her daily readings and feel so inspired. And I would be like, oh, okay, this is cool. And then it came to a point where, I was like, okay, I need to learn how to read for myself. I'm watching these readers, and it would be cool to read for myself, just to kind of have that self-awareness and a new tool. And I mean, I've been watching it for so long and it works. So I might as well learn how to do it for myself. So my sister got me a deck for my birthday, and then I started reading, just for fun. And I was like really fascinated with it. And then my sister's friend got me another deck. And so I would read those, Rider-Waite-Smith, and I would be at my office. I'd be at my office reading, like learning, studying the cards, like watching videos, studying the cards, like writing them down, taking notes. And that's when I knew, I was like, okay, this is like, this is a passion. Like, this is fun for me. And so I started doing that, and I also started going to therapy, which has been life-changing. And I started talking to my therapist about tarot. She's like, you should, bring your deck to the next session. I was like, okay. And so I started to bring my decks to my therapy sessions, and we started using that to figure out like what was going on with me emotionally, and using her modalities and her training as a therapist. It was a really cool tool. It was like super introspective and like helpful to get a visual of like what might be going on with me. And I was like, oh, this is really fun. This is really cool. And so I started working with that. And then my therapist was like, oh, you should, start doing readings for people. And I was like, nah, I'm not, nah, I'm good. And she kept on encouraging me, like, and she was like, it'll just help build your confidence. So I started with family and friends and like roommates and stuff like that. And then during the pandemic, I started giving out readings just because I was like, well, I mean, let's see, people might need help. And I've been studying, and so I started giving readings, and people start coming. My friends started like booking readings with me, and like people who I hadn't even talked to in years. We did readings together, and it was like a beautiful way to connect. And so I was like, okay, this is fun. I really like helping people. I really like supporting people, which is something that I've always like been passionate about, and I found that tarot was a really cool way to do that. And then I took Jessica Dore's course called Tarot for Transformation and Change, which is amazing because she's a tarot reader and also has a social work background. So there's like a lot of psychology in that. And I found that really useful as a tool for empowerment, her style and modality and the way that she uses tarot. So that really helped me connect with people more and clients more as I started developing these skills and was reading for fun. And then I moved back to North Carolina during the pandemic, and I took a course called The Language of Tarot by Chrysalis Sun, which is really a great foundation for learning tarot and the history of tarot and how to do readings. And I just built my confidence with that and just kept on practicing every day and, building that, and became a certified tarot reader through her course. And it just kind of like started to unfold. And the funny thing is that course started on the same day as my Reiki course, which brings me to Reiki. I had always wanted to do it because my one of my yoga teachers would give us Reiki in class. And I was like, oh, this is really cool. Like the human touch on the body, it just feels really healing and clearing. And I was like, I always wanted to work with healing with the body, like helping folks with that. And so I was like, oh, I'll do it when I can. And the timing didn't feel right in Philadelphia. But then when I moved back to North Carolina, it just was like this small town. And I would have never thought that there would be a Reiki practitioner there, but it was. And I was able to get certified on level 1 and 2. And whew, that was powerful stuff. Just the messages that came through from my teacher and confirmations. And it just helped me build faith in myself and my power and the power that we all have. So that's how I got into Reiki. And I was like, oh yeah, I definitely need help with alleviating my anxiety and all of these things. So yeah, that's kind of how I ended up. And it kind of like just flowed. It was like the first thing I kind of let flow. And it's brought so much joy into my life, and joy knowing that I'm supporting others and helping others along their journey. And I really think that it is where I'm supposed to be. And of course, there's some days where it feels like, oh, like I'm questioning, that self-critic comes in. But I'm grateful for the tools that I have, and I try to like talk to that voice and, use the tools that I have from therapy to help with that self-doubt and criticism. And it's just been a beautiful journey. And I do think that like when I do go back to theater arts or acting or any of the arts, I will be so much stronger, and I'll be working from an authentic place and from a place of joy and doing work that aligns with my values and not just booking because I want to book. So I think I really needed to grow back and like dig deep and do this work for myself and others to get clear about what kind of work I want to make. So I do feel like I'm going to go back, but that is basically my story. That's how I ended up here in this as a healing artist, and it continues to unfold. And I going to keep studying and keep practicing and keep reading and keep sharing anything that I can. And I think this also goes to show that you don't have to be in a box. Like, you know, you think, oh, you study this one thing, you have to do this. And when you let that go, there's so many things that can open up for you, so many doors and connections that can open up for you when you're out of that mindset, oh, I have to do this, or, oh, I can't do that. And so, yeah, like, it's beautiful just to allow yourself to just be free and try new things and, you know, work on all of your gifts and all of your passions. It doesn't have to be one thing, and you don't have to make money doing all of the things that you're passionate about. So yeah, that is my story. Feel free to share with me, like, what kinds of things you are interested in doing or you would like to expand upon, or any stories about, you know, being put in a box and then releasing that, you know. I would love to know in the comments down below. Feel free to comment, share, like, subscribe. I'm still getting used to this. I'll share, like, subscribe with anyone who you think this could be helpful for, just like sharing my story. I hope to continue to empower people with the work that I do and help people along their healing journey. And yes, if you would like to work with me one-on-one via reading or Reiki session, I'm going to leave my link down below in the comments. And if you want to join our community on Patreon, where we do a tarot share, we had our very first tarot share yesterday. It was so much fun, where we learned different spreads and skills, and we just help each other build our intuition, and I share what I've learned through tarot. So I'm gonna leave that down below, and yeah, I will see you all. I hope this answers the question of how I got into the healing arts, because I get this, like I said, I get this a lot. So yes, be well and take care. Bye.